Hey guys, Chris here. In this video, I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the Skoda Enyaq Coupe VRS. And spoiler alert, I really do like this car a lot. I've previously here on the channel reviewed both the normal Enyaq, the ID4, and the normal Q4 e-tron. And in my opinion, I think that the Q4 e-tron is the best looking, followed by the ID4, and then the normal Enyaq is the least attractive of all of these MEB platform cars. And that is because in profile, I think it looks kind of like a minivan, but the coupe version, I think that this easily ties with the Q4 Sportback as the best looking of the MEB platform cars. And that shows you what, that rear roofline, that Sportback, that fastback look can do to the overall styling of the car. This does have, that illuminated grille, which I can't show you guys now because it is daytime. It's kind of gaudy, but at the same time, it separates this car from the competition. But I really do like the rear end of this car and also the front end, with or without that grille. I just think overall that this is a very sharp and clean looking sporty SUV. When it comes to the interior, I think that the Skoda Enyaq is my favorite interior when it comes to the MEB siblings. So that is the Skoda Enyaq, the Volkswagen ID4, ID5, and also the Audi Q4 e-tron. Though the Audi has nicer switchgear and maybe a more modern and cool design, I think that overall quality and fit and finish is better in this interior. Yes, it doesn't have, the super precision, high quality switchgear as you will find in the Audi, but this is pretty darn close. And what I do like is that it has physical buttons here on the steering wheel that are separated. You'll still find physical buttons that look like, haptic feedback, capacitive buttons on the Q4 e-tron. And also you have those terrible steering wheel buttons in the ID4 that are capacitive and haptic. These are, fully mechanical, and you also have scroll wheel for your volume. I just prefer the functionality on this steering wheel. You also have some hard buttons down here, and you also have the gear selector down here. It just works really well. Everything just falls in place on your fingertips, and ergonomically this is a great interior. And also interior quality is really high. There are some few cheap points, like really down low in the cabin, and also the grab handles on the doors. But other than that, I mean, the dashboard is, covered in this microfiber Alcantara-like, material. You also have the doors covered in the same thing, and then you have soft touch plastics on top of the dashboard. You even have faux leather that is stitched here on the center console. And also these seats just, are really, really nice. So overall, this is a high quality interior where you also have a lot of room. Look at this, guys. I have a lot of space here for my legs, headroom. It just feels very spacious overall. So as I said, I think this is my favorite cabin when it comes to the MEB siblings. The rear seats of the Enyaq, it's pretty much the same story as in the front cabin. First off, you do have a lot of room, even though this is the coupe version with the sloping rear roofline. I still have about this much headroom, which is pretty nice. And also you can see I have a lot of knee room. I'm 5'10" or 178 centimeters tall, so an average human male in the Western Hemisphere. So if you're a little bit taller, you're maybe gonna start to brush against, the roofline here. But yeah, maybe if you're like over 6 foot, it's gonna start getting a little bit cramped in here. But I mean, this is really spacious. Quality of the rear doors are a little bit cheaper than on the front doors, which is typical in this class of vehicle. But what is really weird is this center storage bin they have down here. The floor is completely flat usually in this car, this being a dedicated electric platform car, but they have some strange storage down here, which hampers with the rear legroom, which is a bit or where you put your feet. But other than that, if you remove that, you can find 3 adults abreast here, and it's going to be spacious. When it comes to cabin tech and interior ergonomics in the Skoda Enyaq, it is a little bit of a mixed bag. So let's start with what I really do like, and that is the steering wheel buttons controls and general layout. So first off, you have physical buttons that you can press that are mechanical. You have a scroll wheel here for your volume. It just works flawless. I mean, I don't understand why more cars don't have a scroll wheel like this, because it's just so easy, so safe, and so intuitive to use. You can toggle between your tracks forwards and backwards here, skip forwards and backwards. You have your heated steering wheel, and then your voice commands. I mean, it's so simple. And then on your right side, it's not as good as on the left side, but still pretty good. So you have a scroll wheel here that I haven't found does anything, so I think it's just there for symmetry. And then you have your assistance systems here. You have a shortcut button for that there. And then you can turn on and off your auto steer. And then here you can toggle between the different screens on the 5.3-inch display, which we're going to get back to in just a second. Down here you have a cruise control stalk that works like it does in an Audi. So it's super intuitive. You pull it to activate it. You push it up to increase the speed. You push it down to decrease the speed. And then you push it away from you to turn it off. Not like in a Porsche where everything is just the complete opposite. This is just super easy and intuitive to use. Lastly, on the steering wheel, you have, you know, your paddles here on the left side to increase regenerative braking, and on the right side to decrease regenerative braking. You also have a B mode on the gear selector, so if you put it into drive and then one more time, you will go into one pedal driving, as you can see there, or brake mode, brake regenerative mode. But it's not true one pedal driving. It doesn't bring the car to a complete stop, but it's pretty nice. It works better than, well, again, like the Porsche, which doesn't have anything like that. So lastly, what I really do like is the head-up display, which is clear, it's large, it has augmented reality, so it will actually mark the car in front of you if you change lanes, or it will just show you that it's aware of its surroundings. It is just super, super easy and really nice and clear and yeah, just safe. So what I don't like, let's start with the display here behind the steering wheel, this 5.3-inch display. It is quite nice because it does show you, you know, relevant information like the speed limit, your actual speed, outside temperature, the clock there, you can see your range and your battery percentage. But it doesn't show you much more. It will show your assistance systems there to the left, and then if you have your navigator to something, it will show you prompts on the right side. But I wish it also showed you consumption and your trip computer, just a little bit more information, because if it's not displayed there, you have to have it displayed here on the 13-inch display, which is beautiful. I mean, this is a beautiful display, but it is all touchscreen, meaning the HVAC controls are touchscreen, and the climate control, the heated seats, which in of itself isn't a bad thing. You know, Polestar 2 also has a touchscreen to pretty much do all the commands. You do have, you know, shortcut buttons down here, which are nice to, this is your assistance systems there, this is your parking assistance systems here. Here you have your drive modes, and then you have your shortcut, your climate and rear defroster, and also front windscreen blower. But everything else is in this, which is a beautiful display. It's large, it's easy to read, but it's not so easy to use. First off, it's a bit laggy. You can't see it now, but usually when you hit the buttons here for your climate control, it is a bit laggy. And also when you scroll, look at that. Even the refresh rate isn't the best. Here it's quite nice now, but 90% of the time I'm using it, it's just laggy. And then you have the layout, which is not the best. I've been living with this car for a week now, and I mean, the navigation system here is so bad. You go into the navigation system and then you get this screen. And guys, I do apologize, this is in Norwegian. I haven't changed it to English, but that really doesn't matter, because here is your search. Why doesn't it go right into the map and search? You have to press search again, and then you want to navigate to address. So let's do just Las and then Vegas. Usually your space button is down here on your iPhone, on your Android phone, on your computer, on your MacBook, on your tablet. Every device out there has the space button down there. So I find myself, you know, entering a navigation destination and then pressing this as space, and then you go into, I don't know, your favorite. So you have to go back, and then you have to go here again, and then you have to go here again. It's so annoying. Here you have the space button, and then you have your back button up here. Everything is just so stupidly laid out. I know this is kind of nitpicking, but this is something you're going to use every day, and it's just annoying to use. So I found, just using the navigation system so frustrating, and it's also completely useless. So the other day I was doing the Norwegian high-speed run, and I wanted to go to Esso and Kobbervikdalen, right? Esso Kobbervikdalen. Well, now it found it because I've been there. But when I was trying to find this, it couldn't, if life depended on it, find this destination. So I had to find it manually, and then now it can find it. It's so bad. But can it find the station, the charger at Grelland? So we do Grelland again, back button there. Now it's actually quite Grelland. It's quite speedy, but usually it isn't like this. So let's see if we can find. Yeah, now we can find it. This is so annoying. The other day it could not find this at all, but now I've been there. Okay, so this is a bad demonstration, but I swear to you guys, it couldn't, if life depended on it, find this. Another thing, every time you get into the car, which is super annoying, is the lane keep is always on, and there's no button just to turn it off like on an Audi where you have it on the far side of the stock here, or in a Porsche or other cars where you can just turn it off. Every time you get into the car, you have to go into menu, you have to go into assistance systems, and then you have to press this, and then you have to turn it off like that. That is so annoying. So I mean, this screen here is pretty nice with your navigation system and your radio, or what music is playing. But here you have to go to your trip computer, and then you have your Apple CarPlay there, which is honestly, guys, what you should use, because this is so much easier. Let's see if we can do a search. Okay. No, let's see where you can do a search. Search, and then why doesn't it give me there? Look at that, you have your space button there. So if I want to go to Las Vegas, I go Las Vegas, and if I want to delete what I've searched, it's there. So again, it's a beautiful screen, looks nice, but it's not the most intuitive to use. It is better than what you would find in the ID3, in ID4 and ID5. But it's nowhere near as easy or intuitive to use as what you will find in the Q4 e-tron. The Enyaq Coupe VRS has an 80 kilowatt-hour battery pack. That is gross capacity, net capacity, or usable capacity is 77 kilowatt-hours. And it will do 490 kilometers of range according to WLTP in this form on these 21-inch wheels. And I have to say, I did the Motorway range test with this car, and I was actually quite impressed by how efficient this car is. If you want to see how well it did, there will be a link in the description box down below to the Motorway range test. I also done the Norwegian high-speed run, so if you want to see how it fares in that test also, link in the description box down below. And this, with the latest software update, the 3.0, which this car has, should be able to charge up to 180 kilowatts. But I've not been able to see more than 149 or 150. And I've been on 2 longer trips with this car. We're driving it for hours where the battery should be up to temperature. My friend Chris from Germany at Battery Life, he had a whole video on the battery packs of this car and did a test where he was able to peak at 177 kilowatts. So I'm also going to link his video in the description box down below. But just like a quick summation of what I think and what Chris said in his video is that Volkswagen, Skoda, and Audi, and just Volkswagen Group in general, have different battery suppliers in this vehicle, because this has the same battery pack, same drivetrain as, you know, the Q4 e-tron 50 Quattro and also the Volkswagen GTX. And we've seen differences in charging speed with those, even with the latest update. And it may seem that there are different battery suppliers with different battery chemistry. So, I mean, until this car charges faster than 150 kilowatts, this won't charge faster than 150 kilowatts. So maybe it's down to this specific car here. I don't know. And in this week, I wasn't able to do my 10 to 80% charging time and charging speed test. But according to Chris also, with the battery pack that actually peaks at 177 kilowatts, it should be able to charge from 10 to 80% in 34 minutes, which is, I mean, I think 4 minutes better, maybe 2 minutes better than the test I did with the old battery, the old software with 125 kilowatts of peak charging speed. So it's going to do a little bit better, but I'm a bit disappointed that this car doesn't hit that 180 kilowatt of peak charging speed. The Enyaq Coupe starts at 587,000 kroners, or about 59,000 euros here in Norway. This car, particular spec the way it is, with just about every bell and whistle, comes in at 629,000 kroners, or about 63,000 euros. So it's by no means a cheap car and pretty pricey for a Skoda. I'm betting a lot of people would go for the Audi with the Audi badge at this money, because it's not going to be too much more, but it's going to be more. And you know, you may prefer this car to that car, and again, as I said in this video, there are a lot of things I do like about this car compared to the Q4, but I do think that maybe getting a rear wheel drive version with the big battery pack in the normal you know, SUV shape is still a better buy. It's better value. But this is it's pretty nice. And what this car has that car didn't have, that I drove last year, the rear wheel drive version at about around 510,000 kroners, 51,000 euros, is adaptive dampers. And that car had really nice ride quality, bested by the Audi Q4 when I drove that later on. But I think this car on the adaptive dampers is maybe the best riding car in this class. It's not as soft as the Mustang Mach-E or maybe even the Hyundai Ioniq 5, but I'd say it's just as comfortable. And this is on 21-inch wheels, guys. This is impressive. And I daily a Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo, also on 21-inch wheels and on air suspension. And I have to say, in many instances, especially low-speed stuff, I think this is better. This is better damped. So I'm really impressed by the ride quality in this car. And what this has, better than the Mustang Mach-E and also that Hyundai Ioniq 5, is body control. So this manages to be very comfortable and also have really nice body control. Is it sporty? No, it's really not sporty. Again, you know, my reference point is maybe my Porsche, but I also drive a Polestar 2 on the daily. But yeah, why did this guy just stop on a speed bump? Okay. But yeah, okay, I digress. But this, as I said, I also drive a Polestar 2 on the daily, and I have to say, yeah, this guy is not, yeah, he's just stopping. Does not know how to drive. Okay, let's try this again. Let's let this lady cross here. Yeah, this guy's almost crashing. I do apologize, guys. I don't know if I'm going to leave this in the video because, yeah, it has nothing to do with the video. But okay, so, you know, I drive a whole bunch of different electric cars, and this it's not very sporty, but it's nice enough. But driving it, other than that, I mean, you sit nice and high. You sit higher than you do in the Kia EV6, for instance. You have this nice driving position. You have this nice large greenhouse. Visibility is great. Though this car is more noisy than I remember the Enyaq being last year. And also I remember that Skoda, no, the ID4 and also the Q4 e-tron. But I suspect that is because this is on the Bridgestone Turanza tires, which are noisy tires. In my experience, all Bridgestones in my experience have been quite noisy. So I think that is down to the tires. So it has really nice ride quality, really nice body control, good visibility. Steering is also nice. Though this has, as I said, adaptive dampers, DCC dynamic chassis control, and I can't feel the difference. If I go into sport mode, it weights up the steering, maybe a little more throttle response, but I don't feel it does anything to the actual damping. To me, it feels just as soft. So I actually think this may be my favorite driving, you know, combination of ride quality, comfort, and also just driving dynamics of all the cars in this class now. if you just want a large and practical electric SUV, I think you'll be better off just getting the normal Enyaq with the big battery pack, that being the 80 with rear wheel drive. That is a lot of car for the money and much better value than this. You're going to get a lot of what you get in this package, but at a much cheaper price. And if you do need four-wheel drive, get that version in the X version with four-wheel drive. I mean, 262 horsepower in that car is plenty enough. But if you want the best performing, the most performance out of your Enyaq, you only have the VRS, and it only comes with four-wheel drive, and it comes with a lot of optional extras as standard. Yes, it is pricey. This car, 63,000 euros, 629,000 kroners, and it is hard to justify, but it is also a very good car. I think it looks better than the GTX version of both the ID4 and the ID5. I actually maybe think it looks better than the Q4 e-tron Sportback or Tide. I think it's a very good looking car on the outside, and there are a lot of things I do like in the interior of this car better than the Audi and especially the Volkswagen. The Volkswagen has a terrible infotainment system. This is so much easier to live with. It's not perfect. There are a few things with the infotainment system I don't like with this car, but considering everything, I can live with it. And once you start using this infotainment system and it works, you do get used to the quirks and stuff like that. It's not a deal breaker. Yes, some of the things are a huge annoyance, but I think I could live with that. But yeah, I think with my own money, I would probably get this version, because comparing it to that Q4 50 e-tron Sportback, it is also a whole lot cheaper. So guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.